Good afternoon and welcome back to another day of torment. And I'm racking my brains to figure out what is going on here. And our first team are like spanking everyone in the Europa League. Our second team and a couple of youth players are spanking everyone in the Europa League, including that 6-1 win against Beşiktaş. But my first team cannot get a single point in the Premier League, and I'm really struggling to work out why. Can't get a point against anyone. And so that plan of playing the reserve team and throwing the Europa League has not materialised. So I'm going to try and go back to a more traditional plan of playing it. And so we're going to start off with the first team by and large, but I'm going to make two rotations, I think. And then we're going to take off about around 65 minutes the most important players. So that will include Palmer, Fernandes, probably Chaplin at the moment because we have wing issues on the right, and then Garosibel and Williams. And they will then, hopefully, I may take off one of the central defenders as well, because then we can, they can start against Everton and we'll fill up the team with reserve players. So we'll try a rotation system this time. I don't think it's going to matter. Hi fam, how you doing? I don't think it's going to matter how we do this, because there is sometimes in the game it's predetermined, and this is one of those occasions. And no matter what I do, it's going to focus on the Europa League and not allow me to win games in the Premier League. That is predetermined. And I'd said right at the beginning of the season that we would probably qualify from the Europa League quite easily, and that we would really struggle in the Premier League. So to combat that, I thought I'll throw the Europa League and just play my reserve team in the Europa League, and that's backfired. I'm not able to throw the Europa League, and the fact that my first team have not been playing in Europe means they're very rested. There's no European hangover being involved, but we still can't pick up a single point in the Premier League. And so we're going to play this game. In terms of rotation, I do need to rest one of these centre backs. So I'll probably put in Ciala instead of McKenna. And then instead of Humphreys, who will be quite an important player for Everton, we're going to change the centre mid. And so Carrillo can come in instead of Humphreys. And we'll put him on attack. I still want to throw the Europa League. I'm really not interested in the Europa League. Hi, Stefan. Happy to see you come back after last time. So I still want to throw the Europa League. I don't want to qualify. We don't have to. My entire focus has been on the Premier League, but the game has decided it's not going to allow that. So we're going to go and play AZ now, with a first team that's slightly rotated. This is more like managers would probably play it. He would then rest the team the players that are absolutely needed for the Premier League game, and we'll see how we get on with this system. But I think it is predetermined. I don't think that I'm going to be... I said, like, it doesn't matter who I play in the Europa League, we're going to qualify. That needs to change in FM. I don't want to qualify. I've been playing a rubbish team, and we are somehow destroying teams in Europe, and so putting my first team out might mean that we get bad results in Europe. So who knows? We'll just take a look at this and see what happens. I'm going to go back, actually, because I've forgotten. I think I've set the tactic up properly with the lines. And I know these lines work. We're going to play with a higher line, but I'd really like to go back from here, but we won't. We should, I think, be playing with a higher line because I think they're going to play in front of us. And we'll see what happens in this game in Europe now. It'll be like I'll feel really strange if we actually win this game, given the form that my first team has been in. And Luca's not been playing very well, and I expect him to have a really good game today, which is really odd because the game's working backwards, and it's for me, this is a part of FM that is predetermined. There's two things I don't like about FM. Is this predetermined thing about Europe and the Premier League, and also the switch. And as I said last night, I'm going to be doing a video on my wish list for FM25 very soon. And those two things are going to be very prominent in that video because they need to be removed. The switch is rather like the game deciding that... like if you imagine you're playing Monopoly and you're doing really, really well, and you're getting all the properties, you're absolutely dominating the game, and your friends suddenly decide, right, you're not going to have a turn for 5 goes. You're too good. You're not going to have a turn for 5 goes. That, for me, is cheating. Just because you happen to be good doesn't mean that you're suspended from having any goes. And that switch is awful. And I think everybody suffers it. Just don't recognize it. Call it the run of bad form and other things. And Hurst is not having a great game today. But at least we've created a chance. I haven't set up to attack this team. We do have players who should be getting forward. My concern is that they are playing a lot more down the flanks, as I can see there. And do I want to bring the line back? Yes. Because I don't want them getting behind me. I'd rather just usher them up the touchline, because we've got some big boys in defence, and hopefully we should deal with the crosses. But the moment, this is pretty much of a stalemate. There's been like 3 shots in the first 35 minutes. This looks a bit interesting. They are playing it around at the back. It's of no value to them. But we will hopefully engage them now, which we've done. And that's how this system should work. And we've done that. So is FM playing the game properly at the moment? Because that is an example of how exactly we should work. Patient, let them pass it around at the back. That's not going to worry us. And engage them on the halfway line. and then create chances, which we've done, and Cole Palmer's put us a goal ahead. That is an example of how this tactic is set up to work. It's an absolutely brilliant goal. Hey Max, how are you doing? And perfectly executed piece of football. And that's exactly what we need to do. And we've gone a goal ahead. But this is Europe. And we are spanking everyone in Europe. AZ are a good team. Really, should we be this comfortable against AZ when we are? Our morale must be dreadful. This team has not won a game for a long, long time. But Europe, too easy. And that's a strange pass. I'm seeing more of those as FM has gone on this year. Those long passes back are very strange. But we do seem to see a lot of them. But at the moment, it looks like we're controlling this game nicely. Carrillo's playing well. That was an inspired replacement for Humphreys. We're picking up the second balls in midfield. Everything looks nice. The line is now set at standard. We're not allowing them to get behind us. We are getting behind them quite nicely, passing the ball in front of them, creating opportunities, and it's now 2-0, and Connor Chaplin from right wing has made it 2-0. And this save just goes on and on and on, making me feel very confused. And yep, we should be happy that we're winning in Europe, but I don't want to win in Europe. I would just sacrifice. I would rather have 8 defeats in Europe and be mid-table in the Prem, not struggling in the Prem. But this is what I've been saying. It is predetermined, and there's nothing I can do about it. There comes a point where the game just takes over, and that's, for me, quite sad. One of the things that I am very anxious about is that the target market for this wonderful game of ours is going to change. And the more I see the game taking over like this, it kind of dumbs down the game for that very young target audience that it's going to have. The very young 10 to 14-year-olds don't have the patience to go through spreadsheets. They want everything fast, fast, fast. And one of the things I expect to see as well in FM25 is that the crowd noise will be different, because the younger audience will want a better crowd noise. They'll want more noise to the game. And that will change, I think, quite dramatically. And are we going to make it 3-0? Yes, we are. This is almost embarrassing that we are doing this in Europe. We are so clinical in front of goal, and yet in the Premier League, we have no idea where the goal is. And a fan of Chelsea, he is a good player. Unfortunately, fam, I do think... Hey, Rafa, didn't see you there. Good to see you. Unfortunately, fam, I do kind of think that that he's being marked quite a lot, which is why his goal returns and his assists are not as good as they were last year. And I think teams are just deciding, right, let's get 2 on him. As soon as he gets the ball, we'll have 2 players come and take him out. And he's not finding the space anymore. And he is a good player. And it's testament to how good he is that teams are doing that. But in terms of my FPL, it's not great, because I need him to be like he was last year. And I don't think last year teams took him very seriously. And that's why he got the goal returns that he got. That was poor from Brandon Williams. Could cost us a goal, this. And Brandon Williams needs to be told to close down less often. So unfortunately for Cole Palmer, he is being tight marked a lot. It's happened to players before. He's not the first one that teams have decided, right, let's tight mark him, get 2 people on him as soon as he looks like he's getting the ball. but it is testament to the fact that he is a very, very good player. And this game, we are totally dominant. We're pretty much destroying AZ. And AZ are a pretty useful team. They're a half a star reputation better than we are. And I don't know why we are 3-0 up against them. And clinging to the top of the group. And FM needs to understand I'm not interested in it. I know you think, the game thinks that that's what I'm interested in, but I'm not. I'd rather be mid-table, 8th or 9th in the Premier League. I don't think I need to change anything. We just need to go out, do the same thing, and we'll win the game. Unless they change their style of play. But again, you can see they're passing it around at the back. This is how a control possession should look like when you're playing against them. You don't want to be too close to them. You don't want to be closing them down. Just usher him outside and then get in on him. And that's exactly how you should defend against control possession. Just don't worry about what goes on in their half of the pitch. And then you'll be fine. Sugawara is still creating a few chances, but we are asking him to be tight marked, and we will just want to keep an eye on that doesn't go up too much. And that so now is coming to the point. Afternoon, I am Turkey Salad Boy. How is your day? So now I'm at the point where I do need to get some of these players off to rest them, so that they can play for the Everton game. And again, this is how it should look visually, which it hasn't looked like for a long time. Do not engage them until they get over the halfway line. And now we should engage them. We didn't. But we're keeping a good shape and forcing them back when they get to the halfway line. They can play as much as they like in their own half. And that's probably why their possession will look so good. But as soon as we are in trouble there. There was a lovely little pass. But their finishing was not very good. But that's really how you defend against control possession. I'm keeping an eye on this, how much is going through the middle. Very little is going through the middle. It is time to rest these players now. So 5 players need to come off for Everton. This is the more traditional way of doing it. So that will be Cole Palmer. So we will put on... Chaplin is on the wings, playing on the wing. So we need to get someone on for Cole Palmer. And it might be good to put Diallo on the wing. Diallo on the wing. Chaplin goes up there. So that uses Diallo. To get Cole Palmer off, we've got a number of options. Univar, I think, needs to replace Gould. Keep him fresh. The 2 wing backs need to be rested. So Timon can come on. And Brandon Williams. One of the midfielders, Fernandez, needs to be replaced. So we will bring on Hartel. And we have got one more. I want to rest Chaplin if I can. Not really possible now. But we'll leave the 4th one. We'll leave that 4th substitution in case we get an injury. So we'll just keep going with that. You can actually see the match momentum we haven't had, except for just before half-time. But that's what you would expect if you are sitting back and just counter-attacking. You're not going to get the match momentum. And this is an example of how the game is playing out as it should. Hi Nemini, how are you doing? And if we can get another one, 4-0, we're just like destroying teams in Europe. And I don't know why this should be. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Tunkai, good to see you. And I don't want to win in Europe, FM. Please don't. Why are you letting me do this and not letting me get a single point in the Premier League? I'd love to put together a run of 3 games. And this is a perfect example. He's only added 1 key pass to his totals. Their focus is mainly down the left-hand side. They haven't had any joy down that side, so I don't know why they're focusing. Their joy has been on the other side where we have the wing-back on attack. But that's a nice little ball. They've hit the post. FM has decided it's not going to be their day. Brandon Williams, I'm going to put him on support now because they've had a lot of joy down that side and we just need to close that up. And again, across Brandon Williams, when I took that off, closed down less, what it means now is they're having to cross from positions that are not dangerous, and that was very easy for my goalkeeper to deal with. And it's Sugawara again, but because he's crossing from so far away, they're not really that effective. It's when they get past us and they cut it back that it's dangerous. And we've stopped that happening. And we'll make that substitution because Connor Chaplin has taken a knock. And luckily we kept 1 back. And we've gone on to win this quite comfortably in the end. Another game where we've spanked the opposition in Europe. Why can't we do this in the Premier League against teams like Crystal Palace and Everton and Wolves? And why can't we do this? It's just bizarre. It's just bonkers. And this is what I say about this game. There are 2 things I want taken out. The predetermined part of the game. Ipswich should not be doing well in Europe. We've pretty much qualified at the end of this game. We only need to win 1 more game and we're through. That Ipswich with this squad, that would never happen. The squad is just not good enough. And that's it. We have beaten them by 4-0. And don't ask me why this is happening. And I need to remember who the 5 players were now that I substituted off. This is getting ridiculous. We probably only need 1 more win. Look at our goal difference. That tells you something about how... That tells you something about how we have been spanking teams. Our goal difference is huge. And I don't understand this at all. I want to just set up the first team, the team for Everton right now. Chaplin is injured. How long is he out for? 2 to 3 weeks. I've had problems with the game injuring the right wingers all through this season. So not surprising that he's got himself injured. But we might have Juan Lu capable of playing, so we can maybe bring Juan Lu in. And I do have other options in terms of Diallo and Nico Valentin, who can play on the wings. Hi DJ, how are you doing? So we need to put this first team in. Garosabal and Williams should be fit now. Williams struggling a little bit. Silla, Harwood Bellis. So McKenna now comes in. Harwood Bellis keeps his place. And Juan Lu Fernandez stays and Humphreys will come into the team. And then Palmer stays because he was taken off. Gould stays because he was taken off, and we can put Luca up front. So it's kind of rotated and looks more like my first team, and we've rested them now. So we want to now go and rest the players who played. So that will include Garasabal, Harwood Bellis, Brandon Williams, Fernandez, Cole Palmer, Gould, Sia, Carrillo, Hurst. Fazzini is still injured, he's not. And we will rest those boys now for a day. And anybody who doesn't make it fit, then we have players. Palmer, 2 goals. About time he delivered something. In the Premier League, he's been awful. Put him in the team for the Europa League. We spank the next team. He gets 2 goals. So I don't expect to beat Everton. We're going to continue this bad run in the Premier League. I just wonder what will happen when we get to Christmas. Because then nobody's playing in Europe. And we're not playing big teams after the European games. At Christmas, we start playing all the big teams. So we're not going to see much improvement, I don't think. So it's weird how this is working out. So let's get on to Everton, who are doing particularly well, actually. They're in 7th. I need to check, are they in Europe? It will be quite interesting to see if Everton are in Europe. I very much doubt it. They are in the Europa League with us. So Everton are in the Europa League. So they should be suffering from European hangover too. But I bet they're not. I bet they're not. They don't do very well from... Yes, they do very well from defensive set piece. So we're going to switch Tunkai's to far post because they get near post contacts very, very well. But they don't create very good chances themselves. So we want to focus on attacking in the match preparation. So we'll focus on doing these far post corners because they're not very good at creating set pieces or being creative from set pieces. And they're pretty good at defending near post corners. Luca's been training well, so hopefully in the Prem he'll come up with a big game. All of them have low morale. If you notice, all of them have got pretty low morale. He's okay, Harwood Bellis. He's been playing a lot of games, and his form isn't bad. I need a big game from him again today. And they are recovering. Brandon Williams and Gould are not recovering as quickly as I wanted. They've got another day. But we have got replacements. And it's possible I do need, because Gould is struggling. Unavar needs playing time. So that wouldn't be a bad switch. Brandon Williams has recovered. And so that should be the team that we play. Good afternoon, Nightcrawler. How are you doing? Well, I'm good. I'm DJ, except struggling to work this out. I'm not expecting anything against Everton. This will be interesting. We can go and see how far down we go now. Because these games have been played. Downing fears another Everton defeat. So do I. So do I. So let's have a look at Everton. They're going to play wing play. So I'm going to set up exactly the way we set up to beat AZ. Except they're going to try and get behind my defence, so we'll lower the line. So that is exactly the same way that we set up against AZ. And I don't want two attacking wing backs. Brandon Williams, I think there's something wrong with this now because of the personalised instructions. So let's put him on attack. He's better on attack, and Williams can come on support. Because we've got the centre mid on attack this side, we need to control this space. So that's how it should look. That's better. And let's see what we can do against Everton. I'm going to call it now that we're going to get a defeat. Because this is not finished yet. This predetermined bit is not finished yet. We've gone down to 15th and we're now officially in a relegation battle. This game against Everton becomes very important. And that's where the game wanted me. It's got me there now. And what's really interesting about all this is that we started so well. Beat Arsenal in the Community Shield. That was a poor 0-0. We should have won that. And then we thrashed West Ham 5-1, thrashed Wolves 4-1. And then Europe started. We've won everything in Europe and lost every Premier League game. This is predetermined. Absolutely predetermined. And whatever I try to do is not going to work until the predetermined part of this game is over. 45 minutes is not enough. So we do have to do something on the wing. And if Chaplin is fit... Where did Chaplin go? Oh, he's injured, of course. Fassini, Firpo, Sousa. Sola may have to play on the wing. Or Diallo can play on the wing. And we'll have Juanlu coming on. I think he should be on support, shouldn't he? Yeah. And Diallo should be cutting inside with the ball. Yeah. So we have had to make a couple of changes forced on us, but we should be fresh. And Everton have also played. And if they played their first team, they should not be fresh. Hurst for Luca, Juanlu. No, we can't play Juanlu. He's only got 45 minutes in him. We'll give him 30 minutes at the end. And so let's go and see what we can do in this one. But if we don't start winning in the Prem very soon, I might, like the Manchester United save, I might be up for the sack. I'm definitely heading for the sack in the Man United save. I can't do anything in that one. It's time to put an end to this poor run of form. Let's go and get a result. We need 3 points. We absolutely must have 3 points. And I have absolutely no idea what pain I'm about to go through. But again, we need to that's it. We need to let Everton play with the ball in their own half. But then we need to break quickly as we're doing. Find someone in the box and score. But he was offside. That's not going to count. He was offside. Luca had just strayed a little bit by half a yard. And he's offside. It's not going to count. I'd be very surprised if it does. I am very surprised. He looked a half a yard offside to me. But winning start, getting off to a winning start is fine. But there's still a lot of this game to go. Maybe the game has stopped the predetermined bit. I don't know. I do need to make sure that Brandon Williams doesn't close down too much. He has a tendency to rush out at people and then they just skip past him. Oh, Luca nearly made it 2-0 there. That would have been a perfect start. which means that at the moment we're up to 12th. I could do with being 12th at the end of this game. That was a fair attempt as well. Good save by Castiles. And they told me they weren't very good at set pieces. Let's hope that my scout hasn't lied to me and that they score from a ton of set pieces. Because we didn't do any set piece defensive training based on his information. But so far so good. We're a goal ahead. Going up to 13th would be just like wonderful. And maybe it is about playing your first team, not worrying about Europe because we're going to qualify anyway, but playing the first team and just rotating a little bit, keeping 5 players fresh in Europe, rotating a little bit. So I'm going to have a look at Everton's... we'll have a look in a minute at Everton's fitness levels, because it can't be that good. And I'm also going to go to my assistant now. He's had 15 minutes to have a look at them. Interesting, he wants all those players type marked. Looking at their fitness, you can see they are suffering from a European hangover. But I don't think that matters for the opposition as much as it matters for me. We have got a very fresh, fit team who've been rested, even had a day off from training. But the opposition seem to be able to take the field with half a heartful and still destroy you. But we are the dominant team. We just need to score a couple more goals. And then I'll be happy. So maybe we found the way. Maybe the game has decided the predetermined bit is over. Whichever way, I'm hopeful of hanging on to this and getting 3 points here, which will be very, very useful indeed. Especially as we have teams that we can get points from coming up, or should be thinking about targeting coming up. And Christmas time, we've got all the big teams, Liverpool, Man United, Tottenham. We've got all those big teams coming up at Christmas time. So we're not going to get anything out of those. Or anything that's going to be worth writing home about. We might get the odd point or two. 2-0, Cole Palmer. And Cole Palmer's on fire at the moment. The referee's checking this one as well. I thought that was onside. So I think that one might be disallowed. As I'm not very good at calling these. I thought he was onside. Yeah, he was onside. And it's now 2-0. And that might be now the new way to solve this. Just to rotate 5 or 6 players. So if we can get 9 points in the Premier League before Christmas, I'll say we're safe. But getting those 9 points, I mean, at the moment, this is taking us up to 12th. It's not over yet. I mean, obviously, Everton are not a bad side. We didn't close him down there at all. And that's because the trigger press is set to standard. And I do worry that we will start leaving them too much space. I'm also concerned about where they're playing, so I'm going to raise the line a little bit. Take get stuck in off, because that has been recommended. But we'll raise the line to try and... Have we given away a penalty, or is that a free kick? Looks like a free kick, luckily. So coming up to half-time, we're doing all right. We're not dominating the game. We're just playing it as we want to play. Patient, waiting for them to give the ball away and then counter-attacking. We're not going to engage high up the pitch. Just try and make the most of the opportunities that we get when they present themselves. And it's working perfectly at the moment. I've not seen it work this well all season. And you can see it's very patient, but hopefully we won't give the ball away like that. Commentator's curse. And the ball's through the middle and well defended. And that was a good change of the line because it prevented a goal there. They're playing much more down the middle than down the flanks, and that change of the line prevented a goal. Oh, that should have been 3-0. Somebody is injured. Fernandez has got himself injured. We're not being told anything about it. So I just want to go and check. Lower leg injury. He needs to come off. So Hartel, if it was a cut or a gash, we'd leave him on. But sneaky that I wasn't told about it, and it would get worse and worse. So Hartel can come on for Fernandez. Shame, Fernandez was having a really good game. Isn't that just the way? Pepe is a little bit of a problem. So I need to have a look. I think we tried marking him already. He's also dog-tired, so he will come off at some point. So we don't need to worry too much about him. We've been slightly the better team, I would say, but not to the point where we're dominant. But that's never going to happen. And at the moment, I'm very pleased. Everton are out on their feet. And we are in control. Always in FM, look to see if you are winning the second ball. And in midfield here, you need to, when the ball is headed out, you need to win that second ball. And if you're winning it, you're doing well. It's a really big indicator in FM. It's now 3-0. And I think we've put Everton to bed now. Is that Neymar? Which one? Which one, Nightcrawler? Hello, that's crazy. How are you doing? Thanks for popping by. Good to see you. Which one do you mean, Neymar? Again, this tactic is so good at creating stuff down the right-hand side. Everything is focused, as you can see, down the left. But all the goals seem to come from the right. The high line has to be used now because Everton are playing right across the field now. So, yeah, we've had a lot of shots on target. Keep going, lads. Hey, Jerry, how are you doing? Actually, at the moment, Jerry, yeah, this is looking very good. This is actually playing out as this team is set out to play, which we haven't seen all season. I'm wondering why suddenly we are playing in the way that this tactic is designed to play. It's really weird. Of course, Everton are suffering from a European hangover, and we have rested our players. But that should have been the case all the way through since Europe began mid-September, and it wasn't. Come on, make it 4. Let's rub their noses in it. We do sometimes get freak results. Oh, almost 4. And as you can see, our team is actually very fit. And we need to rest the key players again, or maybe rotate and rest different players now. For example, Harwood Bellis, who's played both games, maybe it's time for him to rest. But Everton have still got, despite the fact that they can't breathe, they've still got lots of puff. And there you go. Win the second ball and you're doing well. If you're losing those second balls, you're not doing very well. So you need to change something if you're not winning those second balls. Something's wrong in midfield. I don't know what to do about players who can't pass the ball, though. That was a dreadful pass into no man's land. We had no bodies in there. It does look like Neymar playing out on the wing, doesn't it? They have got Neymar. Everton have signed Neymar. It's Neymar Jr. So, yeah, I think they've signed Neymar. I think we'll have to have a look at that. Is it Neymar? Let's have a look at him. Yeah, it is Neymar. They have signed Neymar. That's crazy. Oh, boy. And have Everton decided to focus down the flanks now? I don't think because they've scored, we need to worry. We're in control of this game at the moment. If they get another one, I think I'll panic. But there you go. There's the far post corner. The game management actually paid off, and Lucas made it 4-1. Thank you, Tunkai. for the corner routines. Do I have a buy clause for Cole Palmer? Yes, we do, but we can't afford him. I could ask the board towards the end of the season. I mean, it would be a brilliant buy. It'd be a brilliant purchase. How did Everton manage to get Neymar to sign for them? He's only 33. There's like a good few years left in him yet. Why did he go to Everton? That's bizarre. And I thought that was going to be another one. Lorenzo Lucas got 2 goals already, I think. Is he on a hat-trick? Is he on a hat-trick, Luca? Yeah, he's got 2 already. He's on a hat-trick. He's tiring. Brandon Williams needs to be rested. I think we need to rest Harwood Bellis. Then we need to work out who else we need to rest. So let's just go and do that. So Harwood Bellis needs to rest. Sia can come in for Harwood Bellis, or McKenna can go over there. Cole Palmer needs to be rested. This is an interesting one. Humphreys doesn't need to be rested. Diallo doesn't need resting. But I do need to play Juan Lu. This is an interesting one. Univar, I don't think I need to rest him. Palmer, definitely. So we can bring Ryan Gould on and play him as the attacking mid. I think we'll leave it at that. I know it's not good to change your central defender, but teams do, when they're ahead, just to rest players. And I think we've got control of this game. I don't think we're in any danger of losing it. And players are stepping up to the mark. Univar, who at one time I decided you're never going to play. He's actually stepping up to the mark now. This is very odd. This is very, very odd. Come on, Diallo's outside you. Diallo's come inside, created space for Palmer, and it is 5-1. And this team looks brilliant at the moment. It looks absolutely brilliant. And I can't understand why they are looking so good. The tactics working like a dream. And I was not expecting to beat Everton, I have to tell you. Although at some point we are going to get points. But I wasn't expecting to get as many goals as we've scored. 9 goals in 2 games. Unava is getting tired, but I don't think he needs to be rested. Brandon Williams and Garosabel need to be rested. It's much more important, I think, to rest them. And there you go, winning that second ball in midfield. Let's rest the 2 wing-backs. Timon can come on the left. And... oh, where's my other right back? I didn't put another right back. That's interesting. I think, as I do want to rest Garosabel, I can't make any more subs, can I? Okay, we'll leave it at that. I'll just give Garosabel an extra day off. Well, this has been like, I don't know what. Watching this team play as we are supposed to. Oh, God. Apart from giving balls away like that. But you're going to make mistakes when you're a poor team. Yeah, Joanlu can play right back, but I've just realised I can't make any more subs. But we can give Garasabal an extra day's rest. He can rest for 2 days when the others are resting for 1. And we've kept Pepe quiet. He hasn't done anything. Neymar has not had a great game. But then they had that European hangover, which now, for some reason, in FM is kicking in. The opposition are suffering European hangovers. Luca was a bit slow there. He's on a hat-trick. If he was a bit quicker, he'd have got his hat-trick then. But that's not his game, to be bursting through at pace. That's not what he does. Go on, Timon. They're tired. Have a run. Lovely pass from Unava. Good save. So working... I don't know. I mean, maybe I've just found out how to do this. Maybe that was the secret all along. They are mostly attacking down our right-hand side. We have a wing-back on support there, so it should be closed down well enough. If we can make it 6, I'd be, like, over the moon. Who would have expected us to beat Everton 6-1? Who would have expected 5-1? But we're still attacking them. Humphries had to go by himself. I think he's on a hat-trick as well, isn't he, Humphries? No, he's only got 1. So I don't think there's anything we need to worry about now. They're not going to score 4 times in the last few minutes. I'll be very surprised if they get another one. They're so tired. Bless them. I don't know why footballers get that tired. I've watched some of the training routines that they go through. Been watching some of the teams training. And they're actually stand around yapping to each other for long periods of time. And I don't know how much actual training gets done. Especially at this time of year. I've watched videos of teams training and they're just standing around half the time yapping to each other. And so that's it. Another victory. 2 victories on the trot. If you want to score another one, that's fine. Consolations we will allow. but it doesn't look like they're interested, and it's finished 5-1. So we've had 2 victories there. I'm very happy with the result and the way you played. So we have had 2 victories there that are inexplicable. When we couldn't score a goal, looking at this, we couldn't score a goal, except in Europe when we were absolutely spanking everyone. And now we've suddenly put these 2 results together, 4-0 and 5-1. Nottingham Forest, Ghent and Nottingham Forest to come. So let's rest them as I was doing. Oh, there's an international break. Newcastle, Ghent and Nottingham Forest. So nobody needs to be rested. Two for Luca. He should have got a hat-trick. If he was a little bit nippier, he'd have got a hat-trick. Having a look at Cole Palmer. I'm not quite sure. I think is it 72 million, the optional buy? The option to buy. Doesn't say here, does it? We do somewhere. Where is the... I don't know. I think it's 70 million is the option to buy. We're not going to... It's top middle. Oh, yeah, 59 million. We're not going to have that kind of money. It would be nice, but we're just not going to have that kind of money. 59 million, yeah. So let's rest this team now, before I forget. Oh, no, we don't need to rest, because it's an international break. And it's taken us up to 13th. I like that little 6-point gap now. Another win, and we can get up amongst these boys and be proper in mid-table. But it's getting that win. I'm going to continue playing the way that we are playing, because I'm quite impressed with how the game has played it out. Visually, it looks exactly how I want them to play. And that is when you're setting up. When I set this 4-1, 2-2-1 up, the best 50 players in the world. We don't have any, of course. Neymar playing for Everton, huh? That's an interesting one. That's why they're doing so well in the table, I guess. That's why they're 8th. They've got Neymar. Bajcetic. I remember him. He would be a signing and a half. He was in my Newcastle team. Much older then and cost a lot more than that. I remember him. Bajcetic. He's interesting. 550 mil. What is he? Probably a goalkeeper. Yeah. Cheap goalkeeper. Cheap good goalkeeper. 13 mil. Hilgers. Centre-back. He would probably also be a good signing. His mentals and physicals are stunning. 24 years old. Would get away with it. With the board. 1 million. Nice left back. So suddenly my Helena Costa, the chief scout, is putting together some decent players here. Shame I don't have any money. I don't want to buy Anthony. Jordan Henderson's an old goalkeeper. 17 million. Good winger, I would think. I would probably play him as a winger or an attacking mid. Make a very nice attacking mid. So she is finding players that are cheap. I have 9 million, so it is going to be worth investigating. Khan Uzan, I wish. We did try to get him on loan, but he refused to come. So the chances of signing him are just not going to be possible. He's now 75 to 108 million. Forget about him. I don't know if I want a striker. 23-year-old Vandenberg. Not as good as the other one in terms of mentals and physicals, but still a good defender. So we do have 9 million, and we can probably make a signing in January. Interesting, though. Where would we make one? I'd like to make a signing on the right wing. That's where we've been weakest. Here. And if we can make a good signing on the right wing, that'll be pretty good. Dynamics is good. A couple of players unhappy, but nothing that is any cause for concern. Great tash on Hilgaz. Oh, we got to get him in then. If he's got a great tash, we've got to get him in. Some of these pictures are awesome. Gossen's too old. Too old, probably, but probably a good player. Not really that good. So we do have to think about signing someone, and I think I'd like a really good... Newcastle 17th? Are you crazy? It's nice to see those green dots there instead of constant reds as well. It's really nice to see those green dots. And another good player, Kamara. Possibly not exactly what I'm looking for. His marking isn't brilliant, but he can tackle. And also has a weak left foot, and I need him to play on the left-hand side. But I think dear Helena is starting to find some very good players, is understanding this team is poor and starting to find some decent players. Fazzini needs to play some football. And one of the chat did say to me, I can't remember who it was, that Fazzini turned out to be an awesome player for them. So he does need to play more. So we might give him some game time as well, Fazzini. Just to see what he can do. That's not good enough. Yeah, it was Stefan. Stefan, yeah, you said you had Fazzini. I think he's been ignored in favour of Carrillo and Humphreys. Carrillo might be actually better suited. That's an interesting thought. Carrillo might be better suited to playing as the attacking mid, supporting Palmer. And then Chaplin would come as the winger, and that means that we can give Fazzini some game time. So if we look at Fazzini, centre mid on attack, that he'll enjoy that. Except he's got a weak left foot and playing on the left, but hey ho. He's more central than anything else, and he can belt him in from there. And then we have Carrillo is an attacking mid, would be better supporting Cole Palmer or supporting the left wing, and that would give Fazzini some space to play in midfield. That's an idea, using Chaplin as the winger. That's a good idea. Might try that against Newcastle. Give Fazzini a game. This is your time, boy. Oh, blimey, 8 players still on international duty on the Thursday. No, I've got plenty of those. Plenty of those. She is finding players now, isn't she? They're coming in thick and fast. I'm looking for good youngsters. Another attacking mid. I really don't need attacking mids. Unless we're going to start getting injuries. Newcastle, a very good team, but they are in 17th. Good off the ball. So we need defenders with good positioning and good work rate. Oh, they're not very good at set pieces, attacking or defending. Let's start thinking about what team I'm going to play. We've still got 1, 2, 3 players on international duty. 4 players. Is anybody tired? Firpo, Connor Chaplin. Well, there's still a while to go. Still a while to go. We'll rest as is necessary. Who was it said? Ah, boy. Do I want to go to Newcastle? I think I've just about had enough of Newcastle. But my lord, you get a transfer budget. I think I need to go to the interview anyway. The board are very impressed with my performance in Europe. Why would they be impressed with my performance? I'm in 13th, 13 points from 11 games. All right, we're top of the European group. That is so funny to get offered an interview. You're right, Stefan. Having a chat is never a bad thing. They'll probably tell me you've only got a transfer budget of 220 million. Is that okay? Let's go to the interview. I'm glad I've given you the chance to speak to me. What can I do for you? Is this a good or a bad thing? I've shown tremendous loyalty. What do you think makes you suited to managing a club? Can't hide from the fact I don't have the experience, but I hope can look beyond that. I've spent the majority of my career building up considerable, I can't say clubs. I've been waiting for the right opportunity to step up into the big time. There you go. Are you able to ease our worries about how you've tended? Oh, God. If FM wants... I think I've got a big problem with this, and this is another thing that's going on my video. It's like, if you want me to go to press conferences, FM, don't threaten me and make me make promises. Make me want to go to them. She's like... The only way you can get me to go to press conference is to threaten me or to make me do it. I don't handle the media, Peter. I think I deal with the media just fine. I just ignore them. That's the best thing to do with them. I don't think it matters. I'm getting the results on the pitch. Are you willing to assure us that you do a better job of meeting expectations of your predecessor? My record speaks for itself. We parted with company with our last manager much sooner than anybody. Can you offer assurances we will not I've got a track record of staying in this job for a long time. We've been performing largely as expected despite the worst current run of form. Could you take us to the next level? It seems to be set up well. I actually think the team has been overachieving, to be perfectly honest. I know I can get the job done. Yeah, and make a promise about the director of football. I'm more than happy to work with him. We understand the importance of course. This is a long interview of having the right backroom team. So willing to allow you. I don't wish to propose any changes. I'd like the budget to be in place. I'd require a small budget. A blueprint we would expect any manager to implement. Yeah, we know about this. We know all about this. Avoid relegation. Easy. Too easy. I wonder how much money they'd be talking about. Looks like the club has an exciting future. I would meet the expectations. Oh, only 113 million? What are you talking about? This is Newcastle. You are only going to offer me 113 million. I believe it's realistic. Only 3,705,000. This is ridiculous amounts of money. I need at least 7 million. That's what I was on in my last save. I think it was more like 8 million. It's a big enough budget. Do you have anything to no, I have nothing to request. And if I get this job, I hope I don't, because this will be just it'll be too much. Oh boy. And then you guys have got a big decision to make. What do I do? They expected, yeah, I know, it's like that's an easy job. That's a dead easy job. But then I'm due an easy job. Discuss opening talks on a new deal. He's underpaid. You think so? I've got a little bit of money. And I think he's the only one that wants more money. How much money is he on now? 12 mil. Yeah, he's not earning much. Let's have a word with his... Does he actually have a friend? Or think someone's a really good leader? Connor Chaplin. Let's ask Connor Chaplin. This never works, but it's worth a try. So, I've got some money. We can keep him happy, and I don't want to lose him. I'm underpaid. Shall we first of all say end of season? That's not available to me. Yeah, end of season. We make a promise. Yeah, okay. He doesn't want to, so I don't want to lose him. So we'll offer him a new contract. Leif Davis decided he wanted to leave. That was last season. He left in the winter, I think. And that was unfortunate. But nothing I could do to keep him. And he also brought in some good money. I mean, he obviously didn't want to play in Europe. So, that's unfortunate. If you don't want to play in Europe, then we don't want you. So, new contract. Let's discuss it with the agent. 30k. It's big increase. Encourage you to be more realistic. 25 to 32. He really fancies himself, doesn't he? Okay, we'll agree to that. And we'll offer him a new contract, I guess. I just discussed it with the agent. What is the matter with you? Regular starter. Yeah, my assistant says that's okay. Let's try and knock this down a little bit. Increases appearance fee money. Clean sheet bonus up a couple. See if he goes for that. He's gone for that. I'm happy with that. So we got him, I guess, fairly cheap. And we're still under budget. So I'm quite happy with that. And I can't afford to lose a left back. I'm short as it is. I've only got 2 on each side. So that was a good deal, I think. Am I trying to convince myself? He is probably going to be a good player. The only problem is his passing and vision is so bad. He's never going to improve on that. Potential to becoming a good player. Attacking movement showing no improvement. Stop position training. No, I don't want to do that. I want him to keep training as that. I know it's going to be slower, but we'll keep training him. So Chaplin is okay. He's okay. Josh Timon, we've just offered him a new contract. He's okay. I need to rest some of these players who have just come back. Ryan Gould, for example. Connor Chaplin's injured. He's not training, is he? And Junior Firpo. Just rest them up for a day. And then we should be getting another bunch back here. Oh, he's not going to like that. No, he doesn't like that. He's not going to like that either. He's not going to like it either. Okay, apologies are coming out here. Who is this one? Fernandez. Oh, got him. He's quite happy to share the playing time. We'll try the same trick with Unavar. He's pleased. We've got away with this so far. Not going to get away with it 3 times out of 3. He's indignant. No, we're not going to get away. I think it's right now. Hopefully you'll understand. All right. Yeah. But you're going to have to prove it that you're worthy of first team football. I mean, he's an excellent player. He should be getting game time. Just at the moment, did we say that they were bad at corners, Newcastle? Can't remember now. But if we win this one, we might get the job. Yeah, they're bad at all corners. There's no pace with them. And we need a high line. We need to focus on corners. Attacking. Because they ain't... Oh, is it... I want to change it back to near post, don't I? I think. Sometimes I'm such a twit. I look for things, I find it, and then I just forget. So, poor chances, yeah, we know that. Low proportion of set pieces from near post. So we need to set this back. Thank you, Tunkai. To near post. And come on, boys. Come on, let's beat Newcastle. I could get the job at Newcastle again. Juan Lu, I need to get him back in the team, but I keep getting told that he's just 45 minutes. Are they all fit? Yes, they are. Ryan Gould is struggling, as is Firpo. Juan Lu, possibly, and Hurst, probably. We need to just see how much time Juan Lu can play. Is it Fernandez in form? Not worth praising yet. Univar's not in form, is he? He's had 2 good games, like most of the team have had 2 good games. So Newcastle, if we win this, I could probably be offered the job. If I lose it, I probably won't be offered the job. So there'll be, you guys will have a very interesting decision to make if I do get offered it. Hurst is now unhappy. How much money have I got? 1374. 1392. I've got 18,000 to play with. When's his contract over? 28. He's got tons of time left on his contract. He's on 36. He's going to want to push me over. He's going to want to push me over the edge in the wage budget. He's not that good. I'm pretty sure we could replace him for the money we could bring in. This is a tricky one. I don't really want to offer him another contract. Does he have a friend, someone who thinks he's a great leader? This used to work much more. Connor Chaplin. And he's got a good partnership with him. This used to work a lot more than it does now. It doesn't work at all anymore. Yeah, unable. End of season. I promise you we'll discuss a new deal for you at the end of the season. Okay. I promise you that you will be sold. That's what that is code for. I promise you you'll be sold at the end of the season. And your wages are low enough that we could probably sell you. That's what that is code for. Oh boy. I hate the dynamics bit of this. So we have got no information on Juan Lu. So he is fit and raring to go. He's not perfectly fit. He's still got, and he may need to come off, but that looks good. So Josh Tyman. Who's the other fullback? Where is he? We can't have 12 subs. That's why I get myself in a mess. So Timon and who's my other fullback? And where's he gone? Where's my other wing back? Oh, it's Williams, isn't it? That's causing the problem. So Williams, who's going to play? Solar. Solar's your boy. And then we want... I need to bring Celia in for McKenna. And then I want McKenna on the bench. Where's McKenna? Where have you gone? McKenna's on the bench. And I need Hartel. I need Carrillo. Diallo, who can play on either side. And it's got to be Luca. Where is Luca? Oh, there he is. This is weird. So I need one more, don't I? Too many midfielders. That Carrillo can play on the wings. There we go. That's a good bench. And we'll play exactly the same way. It's been working really well. If we can get 3 points here. Gould and McKenna. I'm prepared to bring Gould back in. Increase attack duties. You're probably right, but I've got 3 attack duties. I don't... Playing balanced, I don't want any more. Gould instead of Univar. Univar's last 5 games is a 7.8. Gould's last 5 games, 6.84. No, we're going to leave it as it is. Firpo Fazzini I wanted to play, but unfortunately he's injured. So he can't play yet. Okay, this is going to be an interesting game. Beat Newcastle. Not only do we... Hey, Happy Clapper, how are you doing? I love that name. It is an awesome name. Pick up where you left off last time. Aggressive Fossila. We don't want you to be aggressive. Just calm down. And then we'll go to our assistant. They've got some good players. I mean, I was really happy to be taking over. I'm not quite sure about this guy. Do we want to be tight marking a guy who's got that agility and balance, that much pace, that much dribbling skills? No. We definitely don't. But we definitely do need to type mark Guimaraes. Be an interesting little experience, this. And I wonder, if we lose, will it mean that we don't get the Newcastle job? If we win, will we get the Newcastle job? We know that they're not playing well. Manager's just been sacked. So maybe we'll get a result here. And 3 points here would be perfect. Run himself into a cul-de-sac of Ipswich players there. One more good game, boys. One more good game. The board of Newcastle are watching this. I'm under scrutiny. They are dominating the game at the moment. Probably because we're letting them. But as long as we defend nicely, and the thing is, crossing from this area out here is not dangerous. They will score, teams will score against you, but not very often. It's not really very dangerous, that. Training has no effect, Oleg, for sure. Training has absolutely no effect whatsoever. Rafa, I actually don't know of any good wonder kids. It's not something that I do. I don't go chasing wonder kids. I'm the wrong person to be asking about wonder kids, but I'm sure the chat have got loads of them. I need to do something different because all the highlights are Newcastle. And I definitely need to do something different. We've given away a penalty. And I think what I need to do is to play higher up the pitch. That's what I need to do. And just, like, not let them dominate us. But again, it's back to Premier League. We can't do anything in the Premier League. We've got 3 points to keep us kind of safe, and now we'll go back into the relegation zone. And then in the Europa League, we'll spank the next opportunity. At the next opportunity. This game is bonkers. Newcastle in 17th, we can't beat them. It's predetermined, and I'm absolutely convinced it's predetermined, this. That you do well in Europe, but your form in the Premier League is going to be absolutely awful. That's how it's going to go. So the Newcastle job will go. Simply because in the Premier League we just let teams walk all over us. And teams who are poorer than us. We got the big teams coming up. We'll have no chance. Hopefully playing higher up the pitch will help. But they're not playing very well. It doesn't look the same. Yeah, it doesn't look the same as we were last time. They're playing horrid. Good spell is over. He would have passed that before, and now he's decided to lose it. Yeah, he would have passed that ball before to the runner. So now they've decided back to being awful. I'm going to go positive. We're not creating anything. They're all dreadful. Life as Ipswich manager. Newcastle are obviously, I mean, they are a very good team. They're just underperforming. Sold them all, did you? I'd love to, but I can't get anybody interested. I just can't sell the Man United players. I can't buy or bring in players. They're just refusing to come. We just tried to get a loanee in, good player, Thuram, and he just said, "Nah, the team's not good enough for him." And he's right. Team's awful. Tonali is the problem, not Guimaraes. And we've been absolutely hammered by Newcastle. Created nothing. Everybody's playing badly. That's it. That's our good run over. When we scored 9. Hi, Blake. And now we are 2-0 down. That's it. Good run is over. Well, we started well. We scored in the first 2 games. We scored 9 and only conceded 1. And now we're back to normal again. And the whole thing that the game was doing then was we can't be actually in the bottom 3, so it had to give us a win. And that was combined with another spanking of an opposition in Europe. So, yeah, that's what the game is doing. It's unbelievable. Cole Palmer is on a 6.1. This is what the game is doing, and it's so easy to read. So easy to read this. It's just keeping us out of the... And he looked disheartened. Cole Palmer looked disheartened. And it's just keeping us just above the relegation area. And it had to give us a win in order to do that. So we spanked Everton, who were in 7th. And had Neymar playing for them. And of course, our form in Europe continues. We continue to dominate everybody in Europe. This is predetermined, and I don't care what anybody says. There's nothing I can do about it. It's just totally, the game is doing its own thing. So the Newcastle job has definitely gone. I would have quite fancied that, actually. I don't know if you guys would have allowed me. Yeah, absolutely, Oleg. They're on huge wages. Oh, God. This is awful to watch. I'm going to key highlights because this is FM being stupid again. Making my team look awful again. And we'll just go to key highlights. Just get this done. How has this team become so bad again all of a sudden? Newcastle are in 17th. We had a chance. Cole Palmer's on a 6 now. I don't care if he's demotivated. So I said that Carrillo would play up here. Let's try him out there. Let's put Hurst on. We've got to put attacking players on there. Look at these boys. Juan Lu 6.4. Univar is 6.3. Yeah, the defense is really bad as well. Sola can come on. Midfield is awful. Everything is awful. This is FM just doing what it wants to do. And it's predetermined. And I hate this part of the game. Absolutely hate it. And in my video coming out, my wish list for the game, this is going to be a big part of it, as well as the Switch. It's not that, David. I don't mind defeats. It's why are we unbeatable in Europe with the reserve team and the first team can't get a point in the Premier League? It's not that. And you know it's going to happen. So it's not like I didn't know it was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen. It's like, I predicted it. And that's why I tried to throw the Europa League. I didn't want to win a game. That's why I put my reserves out there. I tried to throw it. Didn't put any effort into it at all. And we've just spanked everybody. But the first team can't play football. They've played well for 2 games. That's just to keep us above the relegation zone. That's all that was. That's all it was. You can predict this. And if they're going to take the skill element out of this game, and this is what it's going to become, you just buy good players, and the Newcastle job's gone, and you just buy wonder kids, like people are asking, can you tell me about wonder kids? Then that becomes a kid's toy. And this is what I'm really worried about. That they are going to dumb it down so much that all the skill element will be gone. And therefore, I won't ever be playing it after FM25 if I find that's happened. I need to tell them, you just cost me the Newcastle job. Cole Palmer, 6. Right, he has to be dropped to the bench then. So it's what it's doing. You can see exactly what it's doing. It's keeping me just above the relegation zone. You can predict the position that we are going to finish. Anybody want to predict the position we are going to finish? Because I know what position we're going to finish. It's either 14th or 15th. I predict it now. I've played this game for too long. And there are times where things are predetermined. We will probably get to the quarterfinals of the Europa League, even playing with my reserve team. And that's not reasonable. It's not reasonable. And there's parts of this game which are predetermined. And there are parts of the game where the switch comes into play. So I think we can say goodbye to the Newcastle job. We want to go and have a look in the job centre and look for Newcastle. Where are Newcastle then? The favourite is Graham Potter. Yeah, we can kiss goodbye to that. I'll predict it now. We're going to finish 14th or 15th. Absolutely, write it down. Because that's where we're going to finish. And it doesn't matter what I do. I can't stop that. So this is what gets to me. And if the new game is going to continually dumb down, take out the skill factor, because I'm not the audience, I'm not the market they're after. They're after the 10 to 14-year-olds on their PlayStations. And they don't want to play a spreadsheet game. They want it fast and loud and graphics. And that's where the game's going, to capture that audience. They don't have... That's why the chalkboard has gone. The chalkboard's been one of the first casualties. Can you imagine a 12-year-old... sitting down and just going through all this and okay, interceptions. There were Ipswich interceptions. You can see we intercepted most of the balls on the flanks. So can you imagine a 12-year-old sitting there and going through all this? They're not going to have any interest in this whatsoever. So that's why they took it out. They're not going to have... They're going to have interest in creating a tactic and buying wonder kids. And then it becomes a toy. If the skill factor's gone, it becomes a toy. And since 22, I don't know if you guys have noticed, since 22, the skill factor has been taken out more and more. And I'm really concerned now. I don't think we need to bother with Ghent. We're going to win anyway. Well, this one might be a draw. There's usually a draw in there somewhere. Doesn't say anything about their set pieces. So this one might be a draw because there is actually normally a draw in there. So what I'm doing now, which I've proven to work with the lines, it's not having any effect at all. The game is overriding me. So let's see what happens with Ghent. So that, you know, David, I mean, I know people want to defend the game, absolutely, and I used to myself, but I have serious, grave concerns that probably will stop me playing it, because I don't want it to be a game called Football Spectator. I liked it when you managed, when you worked things out. I liked it when you get things right and the game rewarded you. I liked it when you could work out how to beat the game. That's what games are for, so that you can work out how to beat it. Even when Space Invaders first came out in the pubs when I was a teenager, we had to work out how to beat the game. And people spent hours on these machines working out how to beat it and then passed on the knowledge to us. So ever since the birth of computer games, that's been the idea. Oh, see, it's still keeping us there. All the other teams below are losing as well. And this is terrible. It's predetermined. Why punish the teams below us? They haven't done anything wrong. And yeah, defend the game, of course. But you also have to let people have negative views about it, because the game has changed in the last 2 years. Something chronic. And at the moment I'm just going through the motions, winning in Europe, losing in the Prem. And I'd understand, I would really understand what was going on if we were not rotating, if I was not playing the reserve team in Europe. So I'd understand it. We don't know, so I'll let my assistant do that. There's usually a draw or one defeat, so this might be it. I don't know if I want to play Cole Palmer, but I'm going to go with what my assistant suggests. I really feel like I want to drop Cole Palmer. What he did was dreadful. And he's probably going into a bad run of form now. The bench is pretty much everyone I can put on there, so... So let's get this out of the way. Predictions for the European game, guys? Anybody got a prediction? I'm going to say it's a draw, because there's usually one draw in there. Especially if you're not that great a team. So that's my prediction. It'll keep us on top. We'll still be on top because the teams below us will not perform very well either. So that's what I'm guessing is that it'll be a draw, but Nice will draw as well. But it might be a win. It might not be the time for the draw yet. We'll just bear that in mind. I don't want to get stuck in. Chaplin, 75 minutes. Okay, let's go and see what happens here. If we win in Europe again, I think we'll have proved my point. So I've set the lines as I should for a tiki-taka. Has anybody ever clicked that button, storm out, of a press conference? Has anybody ever done that? I'm dying to do it one day. I've actually never done it, stormed out of a press conference. I wonder if have any of you guys ever done it? What happens? I'll have to just set up a save where I'm one of the meanest managers, and just where I criticize everybody and and then just storm out of a press conference. And just see what happens. That's poor. So maybe we're going to collapse in Europe as well. We've already got indications of how bad we're playing. Although Palmer's won the ball. Oh, boy. Possibly, Oleg. But we're pretty dominant in the game. All the game is being played in their half. So I'm guessing we're set up right. It's just a case of can we score? We're pretty dominant in the game. These are not. This is another good team, Ghent. This is not something that this Ipswich team should be walking over. We're not a good team. And it does look like we are going to walk over them again. And I think it just about proves my point. Europe were unbeatable. Playing some beautiful football. Premier League, we turn into Cole Palmer becomes a 6.0 player. I don't know. We'll just play through it anyway. I'll be glad when the save is over, because this is just too hard. Manchester United is the same. I bit off more than I could chew with Manchester United. There is no way in FM those players can play in that shape. They're struggling in real life, but in real life I think they're doing marginally better than I am. And I understand Amarin's frustration and the problems he's having. They just can't play in that shape. The players don't play well in that shape. Whew, that stung the goalkeeper's hands, but I don't really want him to be doing that. Even Everton are doing well in Europe. Everton have gone a goal up. But then they've got Neymar, so Neymar's probably loving it. He's probably dominating Europe at the moment, Neymar. So looking at everything, we're in control. There's a little bit of a focus down the right-hand side. But I think it's only because we're offering them space there. They may need to close down that space eventually. Here it comes. Okay, they're going to get a goal. They're going to be one-shot wonders, are they? They haven't been in my half. Oh, God. Well, I did say it was going to end as a draw. There's the space, yeah, because my winger isn't doing anything. Yeah, we know he's onside. Maybe we need to have some more possession. Second half. Let's stop the ball going to that right-hand side. Is one of the other things that I want to see changed in FM25 is the amount of opportunities that you need to score compared to the amount of opportunities the opposition need to score. Needs to change. Because sometimes I just sit and think I'm buying the wrong strikers. I need to be buying strikers from Ghent because they're lethal. And then you get stuffed by Crystal Palace and like they've only had 3 shots and scored twice. And you think, I need their strikers. But you need a ton of opportunities. Keep doing what you're doing, you'll be fine. You got sacked for storming out, did you? That's absolutely brilliant. I promised to handle the media better in the job interview. If they want me to go to media conferences, they're going to have to make it more interesting for me. Because that is a dire part of the game. They are much more down the flanks than up the middle, but it's what I'd expect to see from a tiki-taka. I'm going to put Timon on support. And I've got this wing back on attack. He needs to be on support as well. And then the midfielder can go on attack. Well, we haven't spanked Ghent, but then they're probably one of the top teams in the group. The teams who are playing at the moment are not roll-me-overs. Beşiktaş, Ghent, AZ. Oh, Gould is having a nightmare out there. They're giving away a goal. Oh, that's us. I forgot we're playing in orange. But I'm sure their left winger is called Gould. What's his name? Can't click on him. No, it's not Gould. Hey, Reckons, how you doing, my friend? Or maybe we are going to go on and spank another team in Europe. I don't know. I thought it was going to be a draw. But it is Gould who needs to come off. Goalkeeper. No, it's the right back. who's having a dreadful time. Connor Chaplin also. Put Joanne Liu on attack. Let's have some attacking threat. Let's leave that at that. Well done, Reckons. Well done. So, can take a break now, yeah? You've got time to take a break. What I need to do is to make sure we don't turn this into a draw now. Not closing down right. We're closing down too much. The central defenders are closing down too much. Let's try one of them. Potter is at Aston Villa. Are you sure Potter has gone to Aston Villa? Why would Aston Villa sack their manager? Oh, you mean in this game? Yeah, I've got a funny feeling they're not going to offer me that job. I think the Newcastle result has cost me that. Although the form in Europe, they might be looking at Europe and thinking he could do good for us in Europe. But I think the Newcastle 3-0 defeat has cost us the job. But not to worry, because we're supposed to be focused on Ipswich, not getting out of Ipswich. Yeah, we're closing down way too much. We got to stop that. I'm going to lower the trigger press. No, I'm not going to lower the trigger press. I'm going to lower the line to stop us closing down too much. Five months still to go, Reckons. But you'll have a good time. It'll be fun. Make some more subs. Fernandez is tired. Hartel can come on. George Hurst is very tired. Luca, there you are. And just try and hold on to this now. We haven't had much possession. I don't expect to get possession the way we're playing. It's about right. But we've been much the better team. And I think deserve to win this. But I still think it might be a draw. These usually, when you're doing this, there's usually one draw in there. If you're not a good team. Gherkins is on the right-hand side. All right, let's just see this game out, boys. We haven't had a really late goal in the save for a long, long time either. No, the Newcastle job was available, not the Everton one, Stefan. So there's another win in Europe. These are not terrible teams that we are beating. These are good teams that we are beating. And I did say Colne would draw. So we're now pulling ahead. Our goal difference is 15. That's 3 a game goal difference. Yeah, you ain't going to get a permanent deal for him. So let's rest Cole Palmer for the next league game. It's just doing my head in. Nottingham Forest away. Every game in the Europa we win, and we really struggle in the Premier League. And that's predetermined. I'm sorry if you guys want to defend FM. I've just seen it for too long now. Way too long. Are you still playing along, Stefan? Are you still playing along with the save game by game? Everton. Nottingham Forest, I mean. Control possession. Push the line up. I'm not coming out of this low block. You're a game behind. And the Everton job became... Did they approach you? How long to my holiday reckons is 12 days. 12 days before I go. So Nottingham Forest, the lines are right. We just need to check their set pieces. Low contacts for the near post, so that's good. And they're not very good. They're actually not a very good team. So we want to be doing attacking free kicks and attacking corners. Make sure that the set pieces is set to near post, which it is. So times like this I need to play Luca. Get him at the near post. If they're not very good at the near post, I need to actually get Luca in the team and put Luca at the near post. So attack the near post, attack the far post. So it's this one. How do you change them? Luca is the aerial threat there, so he is the top one. So I think I need to play Luca in this game just to see if that makes a difference. So we go with the same team. I agree with that. It's the first team. Although Palmer will have a 6.1 again. But this time I will play Luca up front instead of Hurst, because he will be attacking the near post on the set pieces. And also I will play for set pieces. So we will have defensively Sola. Where is my other defender? Where's Brandon Williams? There he is. Sola, Brandon Williams, Hartel, Unavar, Juanlu, Carrillo and Hurst. Now, yeah, I just have this feeling I should rotate a few players for this game, like Palmer, Fassini perhaps coming in. He's not fit. Maybe, but I tend to agree with my assistant that we should be playing the best team. Newcastle approached me, for an interview. And that happened. Do you remember my very first save where everything was like losing the dressing room, Stefan? That was happening to me often, that teams were approaching me. I never had to do anything. Clubs were coming to me to try to sign me, and I'd only won 2 trophies, the League 2 title and the League 1 title. But big clubs were approaching me. Never, Oleg, never had a tycoon takeover. It's never happened to me. Have you had a tycoon takeover? It's actually never happened to me. As the threat of it regularly. All the time, the threat of it. But it's never actually happened. Stanic is the goalkeeper, isn't he? The backup goalkeeper. Oh, I don't know. Salas probably can play well as a goalkeeper. I just feel like I should rotate the team for this game. It just feels like the right thing to do. Bring in a few different players. But I really need to put what I consider is my strongest team out. I could play Sia, because Sia I've promised to give him some game time. Hartel could come in for Fernandez. Univar for Gould, because Gould was terrible and I've promised Univar game time. Just a few changes just to mix it up a bit. I've had the threat of takeovers a lot, but it's never actually happened. One day, maybe. 3 points here would be a blessing. But I can't see us getting them. Balanced to cautious. He doesn't like this. I don't like it either. He needs to be on attack. He needs to be on support because of the centre mid. And that will do. Let's go. Let's find out if we can get a result here. Which one is it? Not him. Not him. So it's going to be... Who's going to be their playmaker? Is it Victor Hugo? Probably. I think these two, I want to close them down. Don't want to tight mark them. So let's see if the set piece idea actually has any effect. Can we play for set pieces and take advantage of the near post stuff? We need the ball first. It's interesting. An interesting little setup. That's how I would expect them to settle down into playing. That's why we have the high line. That's where my wing back on support is, so that's okay. Set pieces. First contact was won by us. Go on, Chaplin. Go on, Sam. Is the camera further away, or are my eyes deceiving me? Timon. We need 3 points here. We need 3 points. And the game probably needs to keep me out of the relegation zone as well. Will only move us up to 13th, but that will be a help. Suddenly Palmer has got over his really poor performance. He was absolutely rocking it. He was those 2 games he was the man. And he's had 1 in the middle, and now 2 games he's back to his best again. They are dangerous. They're playing pretty much as I would expect them to play. We're keeping them from getting shots on target, which is good. Space that they might be looking to use is down our right-hand side. We're a bit lopsided over to the left. But they're a bit lopsided over to the right, so that probably explains that. And we've got to half-time with nothing happening, and we are in extended, are we? No, I'm still in key highlights. I want to go back to extended, because keep an eye on this. Garosibal is not playing well. Let's go back to the opposition. Danilo is not playing well. Three points would be like, wow, that would be the perfect result. Hey, what's happening here? A good save, apparently. Come on, Univar. You need to do something to justify your inclusion. Chaplin has turned out to be a useful player. He was kind of like on my sell list after season 1. But we've kept him and he's done well in season 2 and 3. He was awful in season 1. But as the club captain, he just kind of like kept his place. It's very even, this. Very, very even. We're just about shading it, I would say. Just about. I need to get the poor players off. Garosibal. Brandon Williams can come on for Garosibal. Chaplin cut inside with the ball, yeah. And then I think Luca, I mean, we haven't seen any set pieces. Why is it on full match now? I did not touch it. Humphreys is not playing very well. Carrillo can come on for Humphreys. Why is it on? Let's go to extended. I want to see some highlights because unfortunately the set piece thing didn't work and Luca's not playing very well anyway. But we haven't seen a set piece, just one that was a free kick from miles out. Hartel has done okay, not brilliantly. Maybe it's time to bring on Fernandez now. Timon is tired. Oh, they're going to get a set piece. They're rubbish, apparently, from set pieces. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. Shabby enough, though. But they did kick it long, which is interesting because they don't do near post contacts. They did kick it long. But it doesn't, if you remember, go back to the first two matches we played, it doesn't look the same. We don't look as fluent playing as we did in the first two games. We looked in the first two games, we looked like unbeatable. We don't look as fluid playing the game, as sharp. Not picking up the first balls. Remember, we were winning them all in the first two games. Now we're not picking up the knockdowns. And Forest are playing us off the park at the moment. All down the middle, though. Despite the fact they have Elanga, it's all down the middle. So I think we need Fernandez back in. Carrillo's come on and having a 5. Ah, boy. Univar's only on a 7. Chaplin, though, is going to get tired. Xuanlu and Timon. Williams can go over that. And Sola can come on there. And that's it. Let's see this game out. Hopefully. Hopefully. But we're being beaten at the moment. Come on, one counter-attack goal. End this misery. Let's have a few set pieces, FM. We've only had 2 corners, apparently. Is it 2 I just saw? That should be the goalkeepers. And that's exactly what we want to do with their wingers. Just see them to the corner. And then it forces them to change their mind. Come on, somebody, one good pass. Here it is. Oh, what are you doing, Brandon? That was poor. Just get it into the box. You've got a good left foot to get it into the box. Just about shading it. So nobody. Oh, they've got Hudson Odoi on now. They've brought on the big guns. Abel Ruiz. Dribbling is not bad. His agility, we'll leave him alone. But Hudson Odoi, definitely. Oh, he got a set piece. Near post? No, it was terrible. Who was that? That was a dreadful. Xuan Lu. Supposed to be near post, you donkey. And we're starting to win the knockdowns now. Now we're looking better. Knocking it around now, that's better. Lost the ball, but we've won the knockdown again. Not a bad cross, just couldn't get on the end of it. Didn't have enough bodies in the box. Through the middle again. There's the goal. Equaliser. What can I do? We will lose this. Absolutely will. Because it's predetermined. Spanked somebody again in Europe. I'm going to be like idiots in the Prem again. It's been awful performance. My holiday cannot come soon enough. I'm doing a save for you guys when I'm away, which is going to be twice a week, Mondays, Thursdays. I am having huge problems, massive problems. It's got to be linked to your profile. Every key player I've had is getting injured, some more than once. So I got like 5 really good players, and they're all injured. 2 of them were injured at the same time with exactly the same injury for exactly the same length of time. It's bonkers. Well, that was the near post effort, but unfortunately it wasn't very good. Here's the winner for Forest then. We can't win in the Premier League, so Forest will get the winner. Absolutely no doubt in my mind. The space in the low block is not enough either. It doesn't look right. It's like the lines are too far apart. It's telling me the team's useless. The lines are way, way too far apart. Here's the goal. Oh, must be the next one. And again, we've been the better team, just can't score. This must be the one then. So it actually just said we haven't seen a late goal for a long time. How many animations do you think are coded into the game in total, guys? So every one of those things that you see is a piece of code. A pass, a tackle, a run. How many actual animations do you think there are? I mean, we know it's that because there's only a certain number of ways that you score a goal. You should have won that match. And I was like thinking about that. What is the total number of animations that are coded in the game? And I guess it's going to be around about, since they keep adding to it year in, year out, I would say it's going to be around 75,000 different animations. Because you've got animations for crossing, for tackling, for passing. And that's why you see the same things all the time. So I think I agree with you. There's probably not enough. Probably it's an interesting discussion that should begin, is how many animations are there? I know that for goal scoring, there's about 12. There's 12 different ways that players shoot and score goals. There's also the outcome of a shot is about 12 as well. It's 12 different outcomes to a shot. Headers are less. Most of the time they just head it over the bar. And it lands on the top of the net. You see that one time and time and time again. I'm hoping that there'll be much more animations. Because what the game will then does is it stitches all those animations together. It's very complex. Because once the game decides these are going to be the scores, it then stitches the animations together to make the full game. And I think that's really clever. And at any point you can intervene in the stitching. So for example, if you go to tackle harder, let's say you've clicked stay on your feet and you suddenly change that to tackle harder. The tackles that you'll see are different because it's pulling more hard tackle stuff out of the data bank. So it switches the tackling, which then changes who has the ball. So it's quite a complex thing that's going on there. But I just don't feel there's enough animations because you start to see the same thing over and over again. Like people have noticed that throw-ins on the right-hand side generally lead to a goal. I've also noticed that if your right winger gives the ball away on the halfway line, 9 times out of 10 that ends up in a goal for the opposition. So they need more to make it a total reflection of what's going on. But it is quite clever how it's stitched together. So we've played 5 games today. We've won 3, drawn 1 and lost 1. I'll take that. But it's the league stuff that I'm really struggling with. Next time we've got Bournemouth, Crystal Palace, Rakoff, Norwich. I would expect to win all of those games. Or at least in the league to get 6 points, 5 or 6 points. Man United's a write-off. with only one European game, which again I would expect to win because they're one of the poorer teams now. So I'd expect to extend our lead at the top of the group in Europe when I have absolutely no interest in being in Europe at all. We then have Crevena, which we will win again. Benfica, they're probably the strongest team that we play, apart from Beşiktaş, who we thrashed 6-1. So we've got an interesting episode coming up, all the way down to Manchester United. That's make or break for us, how many points we're going to get from those 3 games, Norwich, Crystal Palace and Bournemouth. So I'm going to call it a day now. Go and cook something. Have a cup of tea first, I think. My throat's a bit dry. And then, what day is it today? Monday. I'll be back tomorrow for more torment with the Manchester United save. I cannot do anything with that. I'll see you guys on Wednesday for further adventures of Ipswich. I think we've got enough time to get through the season. If we don't get through the season entirely, we're pretty much going to know whether we're safe or not. We still have, I think, 5 or 6 more episodes. So I think we've got enough time to get through the season. Okay, guys, thank you for coming. I've tried to be a little bit more placid today, but I do have grave concerns about this game. And I need to air those in case somebody from SI is watching. Probably not, but if they are, I do have grave concerns and a lot of experience of playing this game. I've seen everything that's coming up before. So thanks for coming in. If you haven't already like the channel, help get the videos out to people who haven't seen the channel. What I'm amazed at lately is that all my live streams are getting so many visitors. Possibly because you guys are putting the likes in. But the last one, 650. Last night's was 650 viewers. This one is already over 300. It'll probably hit the 550 mark. So thank you guys for supporting. And hopefully I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Have a great day. Be safe. Take care. And see you soon.